The heater died first. Emma Chen didn't notice right away because she was crying. Big, ugly sobs that made her chest hurt. The kind you save for when you're alone in a car on a dark mountain road with no one to see you fall apart. Her grandmother was dead, and Emma had missed it, missed the last week, missed holding her hand, missed saying goodbye. The windshield wipers scraped ice. The sound was like bones breaking. That's when the engine coughed. Then nothing. The car rolled to a stop in the middle of the empty highway. Snow swallowed everything, the yellow lines, the road edges, the whole world. Just white. Everywhere white. Emma turned the key. Click, click, click. No. Her voice cracked. She grabbed her phone. No signal. Of course no signal. This was Dead Man's Pass. Everyone knew you couldn't get service up here. But she'd taken this route anyway because it was faster. Because she was late. Because she was always late when it mattered. Before we continue, if you are new on this channel, please click on the like and subscribe button. Comment where you are watching this story from. God bless you richly. Let's continue. The cold crept in fast. Emma could see her breath. She zipped her jacket all the way up and tucked her hands into her armpits. The funeral was tomorrow morning. Grandmother's funeral. The woman who raised her after Emma's parents died. The woman Emma had been avoiding for 3 months because they'd fought about Emma's job, her life, her choices. The last thing Emma had said to her was, "Maybe I won't come home for Christmas." And now Christmas had passed, and grandmother was gone. Emma's fingers found the jade bracelet on her wrist, smooth and cold, green like summer grass. It had arrived in the mail 2 weeks ago with a note in grandmother's shaky handwriting. "This was my mother's. Now it's yours. Come home soon, little bird." Emma hadn't gone home. She'd been too proud, too angry, too scared to admit grandmother was right about everything. The wind screamed. The car rocked. Emma checked her phone again. Still no signal. She tried the key again. Click, click, click. Damn. How long did it take to freeze to death? She'd read something once. An hour, 2. She looked at the clock on the dead dashboard. 11:47 p.m. No other cars had passed in 20 minutes. This road was barely used in winter. Emma knew that. She'd taken it anyway. Always running. Always taking shortcuts. Never thinking about the cost until it was too late. That was her problem. Grandmother used to say it. Emma's college roommate used to say it. Even Emma's boss said it last month before firing her. "You run from hard conversations, Emma. You can't build anything real that way." The cold bit deeper. Emma's teeth started chattering. She pulled the emergency blanket from the back seat, a thin silver thing that crinkled like a chip bag. She wrapped it around herself and waited. For what? For someone to magically appear? For the storm to stop? For time to rewind so she could make different choices? The wind howled louder, then something else. A sound underneath the wind, low and rumbling. An engine. Emma sat up, wiped the fog from her window, squinted into the white. Headlights, cutting through the blizzard, but not car headlight. One light, bright and round and moving fast. A motorcycle. Who rides a motorcycle in a blizzard? The bike pulled up beside her car. The rider was huge, broad shoulders, heavy boots, all black leather and dark helmet. He killed the engine and climbed off. Emma's heart hammered. Every true crime podcast she'd ever listened to screamed at her, "Don't open the door. Don't trust strangers on empty roads. Don't." He knocked on her window. Emma cracked it an inch. Snow blew in. She could barely see his face through the helmet visor. "You stuck?" His voice was deep. "Car died," Emma's. "I'm fine. Someone's coming." But what else could she say? "No, they're not." He pulled off his helmet. Emma's breath caught. She knew that face. Older now. A scar through his left eyebrow that hadn't been there before. But the same dark eyes, the same jaw. Cole Reeves. 10 years. It had been 10 years since Emma had seen him. Since she'd left town the day after the accident. Since she'd ghosted him completely and never looked back. Cole stared at her. His expression didn't change. Emma Chen. Not a question, just her name. Flat and cold. Cole. Her voice came out as a whisper. "Your car's dead. Radio says the road's closing in 30 minutes. State police are turning everyone back at the summit." He gestured to his bike. "I can get you to the next town, maybe." "I can't, I need to." Emma's brain scrambled. Get to the funeral. Get away from Cole. Get somewhere warm before her fingers stopped working. You can freeze or you can get on the bike. Cole's jaw tightened. I don't care which, but decide fast. Emma looked at her useless phone, her dead car, the empty road disappearing into white. She thought about grandmother, about the funeral, about arriving late one more time, about not arriving at all. Drop a comment if you think she should trust him. I want to know what you do. She thought about Cole, about the last time she'd seen him, about the promise she'd broken and the words she'd never said. Why would you help me? Emma's voice shook, not from cold, from something older. Cole's expression went darker. I wouldn't, but my sister's missing in this storm, and the fire station's in the next town, so you get a ride to safety, and I get to keep moving. That's the deal. His sister, Emma remembered her, a kid back then, maybe 8 years old, bright smile, always following Cole around. What happened? Emma asked. She went hiking yesterday, didn't come back. Cole's voice was controlled, but Emma could hear the fear underneath. Now get out of the car or don't. I'm wasting time. Emma's hand went to the door handle. Stop. This was Cole Reeves, the boy she'd loved, the boy she'd destroyed, the boy whose brother had died because Emma. Cole's voice cut through. She grabbed her small backpack, shoved her phone and wallet inside, left everything else. The cold hit like a fist when she opened the door. The wind tried to rip the door from her hand. Snow stung her face. Cole was already back on the bike. He held out a helmet. Emma took it, put it on. The world went quiet inside the path. She climbed on behind him. The bike was freezing. Cole was warm. Hold on, he said. Emma wrapped her arms around his waist. She could feel his heartbeat through the leather jacket. Steady, strong. The engine roared to life. And then they were moving, too fast. The world was just white and wind and the vibration of the bike underneath them. Emma closed her eyes and held tighter. She thought about grandmother's bracelet on her wrist, about running away 10 years ago, about how she was still running now, except this time she was running straight back toward the one person she'd spent a decade avoiding. The bike hit ice, slid sideways. Emma's scream disappeared into the wind. Cole steadied, kept going. And Emma realized something cold and sharp and true. She wasn't going to make it to the funeral. She might not make it through the night. And the only person who could save her was the man whose life she'd already ruined once before. The motorcycle skidded again. Emma's fingers dug into Cole's jacket. Her face pressed against his back. She couldn't feel her toes anymore, couldn't feel her nose. The cold was everywhere now, inside her bones. How long had they been riding? 5 minutes? 20? Time felt broken. The bike slowed. Emma lifted her head. Blurry through the snow, but lights. Buildings. They rolled into what looked like a gas station. But there was an overhang. Shelter from the wind. Cole cut the engine. The silence felt loud. Emma tried to climb off. Her legs wouldn't work right. She stumbled. Cole caught her arm rough, quick, then let go like she'd burned him. Can you walk? He asked. Emma's teeth chattered so hard she bit her tongue. Tasted blood. Cole pulled out his phone, checked it. His face went darker. Still no signal. Where are we? Emma managed to ask. Miller Station, town's another 8 miles down the mountain. He looked at the road disappearing into white. We're not making it tonight. Emma's stomach dropped. What? Road's getting worse. Visibility 0. We try to ride in this, we die. Cole's voice was flat, matter of fact, like he was reading a grocery list. But your sister, I know. He cut her off. His jaw whirled. Fire station closes at midnight anyway. Roads are shut. Search and rescue won't go out until morning. He turned away. Nothing I can do until dawn. Emma heard what he didn't say, and it might be too late by then. She thought about his sister. What was her name? Sarah. No. Sophie Reeves. She'd be 18 now. Old enough to make bad decisions. Old enough to die for, like Cole's brother had. Emma's chest tightened. She pushed the memory down. Not now. Not here. Cole was trying the gas station door. He moved to the window, peered inside. There's a back office, he said. Might be warmer than out here. You're going to break in? Emma asked. Cole looked at her. His expression said everything. You want to freeze? Then stay out here. He didn't wait for an answer. He walked around the building. Emma heard glass break, then a door opening. She followed. Inside smelled like motor oil and old coffee. Cole had found a flashlight somewhere. The beam cut through the dark office. There was a desk, a couch with springs poking through, a space heater in the corner. Check if that works, Cole said, pointing to the heater. Emma's hands shook as she plugged it in. Flipped the switch. Orange light. Beautiful orange light. Heat poured out. She collapsed in front of it, held her hands out. Pain shot through her fingers as they warmed up. She bit back a whimper. Cole was at the window looking out at his bike, at the road, at the storm eating the world. "Your sister," Emma said quietly. "Tell me what happened. Why?" Cole didn't turn around. "Because I'm here. Because maybe talking helps." Because Emma knew what it felt like to lose someone and have no one to talk to about it. Cole was quiet for a long time. Then, "She goes hiking every weekend, knows these mountains better than anyone, but yesterday she went up to Eagle Point, alone, told her roommate she'd be back by dark, and she didn't come back," Emma finished. "Her roommate called me at midnight. I drove up from Denver, been searching since dawn." His voice cracked just slightly, just enough. "Found her car at the trailhead, nothing else." Emma's throat hurt. "The storm started this afternoon. She's been out there for over 30 hours now." Cole's hand pressed against the window. "She's smart. She knows survival, but it's been so long and it's so cold," and he stopped. Got control of himself again. Emma recognized that control. She'd seen it before. The night his brother died, Cole had looked exactly like this. Locked down, locked tight, holding everything inside until it crushed him. "She's going to be okay," Emma said. The words felt hollow. "Don't," Cole's voice went sharp. "Don't give me hope when you don't know anything. I'm trying to, you're trying to make yourself feel better." He turned to face her finally. "That's what you do, Emma. Make yourself feel better and then disappear when things get hard." The words hit like a slap. Emma's face burned. "That's not fair." Cole crossed his arm. 10 years ago you left. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't explain. Didn't answer calls or texts or letters. Just gone. Like none of it mattered. Your brother had just died. I know when my brother died." Cole's voice was ice. "I was there. Remember? We both were." Emma's hands twisted together. The jade bracelet pressed into her wrist. "Couldn't stay. Couldn't what? Couldn't face it? Couldn't face me?" He laughed. It was a terrible sound. "You know what I thought? I thought maybe you blame me for the accident, for not being fast enough to stop." Emma stood up. Her legs shook, but she stood. "I never blamed you. Then why did you run? If this is hitting you in the feels, share this story. Someone else needs to hear it too." The question hung between them. Emma could tell him, should tell him. But the words stuck in her throat like they'd been stuck for 10 years. "I blame myself," she whispered finally. Cole went still. "What?" "The accident. It was my fault." Emma's voice broke. "I was the one who suggested we go to the river that night. I was the one who said it would be fun. I was the one who..." Cole's voice changed, softened just a fraction. "That's not yes it is." The words exploded out. "Your brother wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for me. He wouldn't have been on that bridge. He wouldn't have..." She choked, couldn't finish. 10 years. She'd carried this for 10 years. Never said it out loud. Never let anyone know. Cole stared at her. "You think I don't know that?" Emma's head snapped up. "You think I didn't figure that out?" Cole's expression was unreadable. "You invited us. We came, but Emma, we made that choice. Me and Tyler, we decided to go. We decided to act like idiots on that bridge. Tyler decided to climb out too far." His voice roughened. "You didn't make him fall. The rotten wood did. The darkness did. Bad luck did. But if I hadn't, if..." Cole cut her off. "You can't if yourself to death, Emma. Believe me, I tried. If I'd grabbed him faster, if I'd told him to stop, if we'd stayed home that night, if..." He looked away. "But it doesn't change anything. Tyler's still gone, and you still left me alone to deal with it." The accusation stung, because it was true. "I'm sorry," Emma said. "It felt too small, too late." "Yeah, me too." Cole moved to the couch, sat down, put his head in his hand. Silence filled the room, just the hum of the space heater and the wind outside. Emma sat back down by the heater. Her body ached. Her heart ached worse. She touched the jade bracelet, thought about grandmother, about all the times grandmother had told her, "Running away doesn't make the fear smaller, little bird. It just makes you more alone." Emma had never listened. "Your grandmother died?" Cole asked suddenly. "How did you said in the car you needed to get somewhere, and you wearing mourning colors." He nodded at her black coat. "Plus you were crying when I found you." He'd noticed. Even after everything, he'd noticed. The funeral's tomorrow, Emma said quietly. I was trying to make it home, but I left too late. Took the shortcut. Car died. She laughed bitterly. Grandmother would say I'm still running from things. Still taking the easy way. Cole raised an eyebrow. You took Dead Man's Pass in a blizzard. The fast way then, same thing. Emma pulled her knees to her chest. She was sick for months, I knew, but we'd fought and I was too proud to apologize. Too scared she'd tell me again that I waste my life running from commitment. Her voice dropped. She was right about everything, and now she's gone and I can't tell her I'm sorry. Cole watched her, his expression shift. Something like understanding crossed his face. My sister, he said slowly. Sophie, she called me last week, wanted to talk about something important. I was busy, told her I'd call back later. He breathed out. I never called back, and now she's out there and I don't know if I'll get the chance to. He stopped, closed his eyes. Emma's chest hurt, for him, for Sophie, for all of them. You'll find her, Emma said, and this time she meant it, believed it. At first light, we'll go to the fire station together. We'll search, we'll find her. Cole opened his eyes, looked at her. I'm not leaving you alone this time, Emma said. The words surprised her as much as they seemed to surprise Cole. You need to get to your grandmother's funeral, he said. I'll miss it anyway. The roads won't open until late morning at best. Emma's throat tightened. Grandmother would understand, she always said. She paused. She always said love means staying when it's hard, not just showing up for the easy parts. Cole stared at her for a long moment. I don't forgive you, he said finally, for leaving, for disappearing. Emma nodded. I don't forgive me either. But, Cole hesitated. Thank you for offering to help. It wasn't much, but it was something. A crack in the ice between them. The lights flickered, then went out. The space heater died. No, I'm a breather. Cole grabbed the flashlight. Checked the window. Power lines must be down, whole streets dark. The cold rushed back in. Hungry. Emma's teeth started chattering again. She pulled her jacket tighter. It didn't help. There's a storage room, Cole said. Might have blankets or emergency supplies. They searched. Found nothing except old rags and a case of energy drinks. Great, Emma muttered. We can die caffeinated. Cole almost smiled. Almost. The temperature dropped fast. Emma could see her breath again. Her fingers hurt. Her face hurt. We need to share body heat, Cole said. Emma's heart jumped. What? It's survival basics. We'll freeze separately. Together we have a better chance. He looked uncomfortable. I'm not, this isn't, I know, Emma said quickly. I know. They sat on the couch. Close, then closer. Cole pulled off his jacket and wrapped it around both of them. Emma could feel his warmth, like on the motorcycle, but more real, more dangerous. Tell me about your grandmother, Cole said quietly. Help me stay awake. So Emma talked about grandmother's garden, her dumplings, the way she hummed Chinese opera while cooking, the way she'd smack Emma's hand with a wooden spoon if she tried to steal food before dinner. Cole listened, asked questions, shared his own stories about Sophie, about how she'd grown up tough and fearless, about how she wanted to be a park ranger, about how she'd saved a lost hiker last summer and made the local news. The hours crawled by. The cold pressed in, but talking helped. Remembering helped. Emma's eyes grew heavy. Stay awake, Cole said. His voice sounded far away. Emma, stay awake. But the dark pulled at her, warm and soft. Her last thought before everything went black was, this is how it ends, with Cole. Just like it should have been 10 years ago. The sound woke her, scratching at the door. Emma's eyes flew open. Gray light filtered through the window. Dawn. Cole was already moving. He grabbed the flashlight still working somehow and moved toward the door. Wait, Emma whispered. What if it's... The door burst open. A figure stumbled in, covered in snow and dirt and blood. Sophie Reeves collapsed on the floor. Help, she gasped. There's someone else still out there. Her eyes rolled back. She went limp. Cole dropped beside. Sophie, stay with me. But Sophie was unconscious. Breathing, but unconscious. And somewhere out in the blizzard, someone else was dying. Cole pressed his fingers to Sophie's neck. Pulse is weak, she's hypothermic. Emma was already moving. She dragged the couch closer to where Sophie lay, grabbed Cole's jacket and her own, started wrapping Sophie in layers. We need heat, Emma said. The power, check the storage room again, Cole interrupted. Chemical hand warmers, heat packs, anything. Emma ran. Her body screamed she was still half frozen herself. But Sophie was so much worse. She tore through the storage room, found a first aid kit. Inside, 2 hand warmers. Old but sealed. She cracked them and ran back. Cole had Sophie on the couch now. Her lips were blue. Her fingers were white. Definitely frostbite. Emma tucked the warmers against Sophie's chest, against her neck, the places where blood ran close to the surface. Sophie, Cole's voice cracked. Sophie, can you hear me? Emma grabbed the energy drinks from last night. Opened one. We need to warm her from the inside too. When she wakes up, if she wakes up, Cole said. When? Emma said firmly. She made it this far, she's a fighter. Cole's hand shook as he brushed snow from Sophie's hair. She said someone else is out there. I know. We have to find them. Emma looked at Sophie, then at Cole. Then at the window where gray dawn light showed the storm had calmed. Not stopped, but calmed. You stay with her, Emma said. I'll go look. Cole stood. You don't know these mountains. You'll get lost in 5 minutes. Then we both go. We carry Sophie to your bike and she can't ride like this. Moving her could kill her. Cole's jaw set. And if we both leave and she wakes up alone and confused, she could hurt herself trying to go back out. Emma finished. They stared at each other. No good choices. Sophie's breath rattled, weak and thick. How long was she out there? Too long. Cole's fists clenched. 2 nights, maybe more. And whoever's still out there, he didn't finish. Emma's mind raced. She came from that direction. She pointed toward the back of the building. East, toward the old fire tower trail. How do you know? The snow pattern on her clothes. Wind's been blowing west all night. If she came from the west, the snow would be on her back. But it's on her front. She was walking into the wind. Emma had learned that from grandmother. From years of walking through storms to get to school. Cole looked at her differently, with something like respect. I can find the trail, Emma said. I've hiked it before, years ago, but I remember. There's a rock formation shaped like a broken tooth. If I can get there, no. Cole shook his head. I'm not letting you go out there alone. You're not letting me? Emma's voice sharpened. Cole, your sister needs you here. I'm the only option. You'll die, maybe. But whoever's out there is definitely dying right now. Emma grabbed her jacket, started zipping it. Every minute we argue is a minute they don't have. Cole caught her arm. Emma, you're not dressed for this. You don't have gear. I know. Emma met his eye. But I'm going anyway. Because that's what grandmother would do. That's what love meant. Staying when it was hard. Doing the thing that scared you because someone needed you. Drop a comment if you think she'll find the I need to know you're still with me. For 10 years, Emma had run. From grief, from guilt, from love. From everything hard and real and important. Not anymore. Cole's grip loosened. His face showed a dozen emotions at once: fear, anger, respect, something deeper Emma couldn't name. Take this. He pulled a knife from his belt. For safety. And this. He grabbed the flashlight. Batteries are almost dead, but it's something. Emma took them. Her hands were steadier than she expected. Follow the tree line east, Cole said quickly. Stay below the ridge winds, worse up high. Look for orange trail markers. The tower's about 2 miles out. If you don't find anything in 30 minutes, you turn back. Understand? 30 minutes, Emma agreed. They both knew it. She'd search until she found someone or couldn't walk anymore. Cole knew it too, but he didn't argue. His voice stopped her at the door. Why are you doing this? Emma touched the jade bracelet. Thought about grandmother. About all the chances she'd wasted. All the time she'd chosen easy over right. Because I'm tired of running, she said simply. Then she pushed into the storm. The cold was a living thing. It grabbed and bit and clawed. Emma's face went numb in seconds. Her eyes watered. Tears froze on her cheeks. She followed the tree line, 1 foot in front of the other. The snow came up to her knees in places. Each step took forever. The world was gray and white. No color, no sound except wind. Emma's mind started playing tricks. She saw shapes in the snow, heard voices that weren't there. Turn back, part of her whispered. You tried, that's enough. But it wasn't enough. Trying had never been enough. She thought about Sophie stumbling through this for 2 nights. 2 nights of cold and dark and fear. And still Sophie had kept going. Still Sophie had found help. If Sophie could do that, Emma could walk 2 miles. The orange trail marker appeared like a gift. Faded but there. Emma's heart lifted. She was on the right path. She pushed forward, checked her watch. 20 minutes gone. Her legs burned. Her lungs burned. Everything burned with coal. Then something. A flash of red against white. Emma's breath caught. She moved fast. Stumbled. Caught herself. A tent. Half collapsed. Red fabric torn and flapping in the wind. Emma's voice came out as a croak. Is anyone there? No answer. She reached the tent. Pulled back the flap. A man lay inside. 40 maybe. Hard to tell. He wasn't moving. Emma shook his shoulder. Can you hear me? His eyes fluttered. Unfocused. Help, he whispered. Relief flooded him. He was alive. I'm Emma. I'm here to help. What's your name? David. His lips barely moved. Fell. Emma looked down. His left ankle was swollen. Purple. Definitely broken. How long have you been here? 3 days, maybe 4. Lost track. His words slurred. Sophie, the girl, she stayed with me. Kept me warm. But she left yesterday to find help. Didn't come back. Emma's throat tightened. Sophie had stayed with him. A stranger. Kept him alive when she could have saved herself sooner. Sophie made it, Emma said. She's safe. I'm going to get you out too. David's eyes closed. Can't walk. Emma looked at him, at his broken ankle, at the tent barely standing. She couldn't carry him. He was too big. She was too weak. But she couldn't leave him either. The tent poles, she could use them. Make a travois, something to drag him on. Emma worked fast. Her fingers didn't want to work right. The cold made everything harder. She tore down the tent, tied the poles together with boot laces and strips of fabric, made a rough sled. This is going to hurt, she told David. Everything hurts, he said. Almost smiled. Emma rolled him onto the travois. He screamed, hit it back, breathed hard. I'm sorry, Emma said. Just go, David gasped. Emma grabbed the pole, started pulling. It was impossible. The snow caught everything. David's weight dragged. Emma's muscles screamed. 1 foot forward, then another, then another. She fell, got up, fell again. Her watch said 45 minutes had passed. Cole would be worried, but she couldn't stop. You can do this, grandmother's voice said in her head. You're stronger than you think, little bird. Emma pulled harder. The gas station appeared through the white, beautiful and close and real. Cole! Emma's voice barely worked. Cole! The door burst open. Cole ran out. Saw David, saw Emma. I've got him, Cole said. He grabbed the travois, pulled David inside like he weighed nothing. Emma collapsed in the doorway. Couldn't feel her legs. Couldn't feel anything. Cole's hands lifted, carried her inside, set her by the space heater. The space heater was on. Orange light. Warm orange light. Power came back 20 minutes ago, Cole said. He was wrapping David in blankets, checking his ankle. Sophie woke up. She's okay, groggy but okay. Emma's eyes found Sophie on the couch. Sophie lifted a weak hand. Emma waved back, started crying, couldn't stop. Cole was in front of her suddenly, his hands on her face, rough and warm. Hey, you did it. You found him. You brought him back. I didn't run, Emma sobbed. I didn't run away this time. I know. Cole's voice was soft, so soft. I know. His thumb brushed away her tear, and something in his expression changed. Open. You scared me, he said quietly. When you went out there, I thought. He stopped. Started again. I thought I'd lost you again. Emma's heart stopped. Cole, I haven't forgiven you yet, he said. I'm still angry, still hurt, but Emma. He searched her face. I never stopped. A knock at the door cut him off. They both jumped. Cole opened it. 2 search and rescue workers stood there, radios crackling, relief on their faces. We got reports of the missing girl, one said. Sophie Reeves, is she here? Cole said. And we have another survivor, David. He looked at Emma. Peterson, David supplied weekly from his pile of blankets. David Peterson. The rescue workers moved fast, checked vitals, called for medical transport. The gas station filled with people and noise and movement. Emma sat by the heater and watched it all happen. Exhausted. Sophie caught her eye from across the room. Mouth, thank you. Emma nodded. Felt her grandmother's bracelet press against her wrist. Warm now. Warm from her own skin. The ambulance took Sophie and David an hour later. The paramedics wanted to take Emma to possible hypothermia, they said, but she refused. I need to get to my grandmother's funeral, she said. The paramedics argued. Emma didn't budge. Finally, Cole stepped in. I'll drive her. Keep an eye on her. If anything changes, I'll take her straight to the hospital." The paramedics agreed reluctantly, and then it was just Emma and Cole again, standing in the parking lot as the ambulance drove away. The storm had passed. The sky was breaking blue between clouds. "The funeral," Cole said. "What time?" "2 o'clock. Emma checked her phone. "Working now. 10 missed calls, 15 texts. It's 11 now. We won't make it." "Yes, we will." Cole walked to his motorcycle, started checking it over. "It's a 4-hour ride, but the roads are clear now. We'll make it." Emma stared at him. "You do that? Take me?" Cole looked at her, really looked at her. "You didn't run when it mattered. I'm not going to run now." Something cracked open in Emma's chest. Something she'd kept frozen for 10 years. "Cole, what you were saying before the rescue workers came, you said you never stopped." She couldn't finish. Couldn't even hope. Cole's jaw worked. "I never stopped loving you, even when I hated you, even when I tried to forget you." He looked away. "But love's not enough, Emma. Not by itself. There has to be trust. There has to be, I want to try." Emma said. The words tumbled out. "I want to stop running. I want to learn to stay. She took a shaky breath. "I want you, if you'll let me try." Cole was quiet for a long time. "Then I live in Denver now." "You live where? Still in Portland?" "I got fired last month," Emma admitted. "I've been crashing with friends. No real plan, no real anything." "So come to Denver," Cole said. "Not for me, not yet, but for you. Start over. Figure out who you are when you're not running." He met her eyes. "And maybe if we both do the work, we can figure out what we are too. Slowly, carefully. No promises except to be honest." It wasn't a fairy tale. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And real was what Emma needed. "Okay," she said. Cole almost smiled. He handed her a helmet. Emma put it on. They rode toward the funeral, toward goodbye, toward whatever came next. The sun broke through completely, made the snow sparkle like grandmother's jade bracelet, like hope. Emma held on to Cole and didn't let go. This time, final as she was staying for the hard part. Emma made it to the funeral with 10 minutes to spare. She stood in the back of the service, wet and exhausted. Cole stood beside her, silent support. When it was time to speak, Emma walked to the front. She talked about grandmother's garden, her dumplings, her wisdom that Emma had been too proud to hear. "She told me once," Emma said, voice shaking, "that love means staying when it's hard, not just showing up for the easy parts. I didn't understand. I ran from everything hard in my life, from grief, from guilt, from love itself." She touched the jade bracelet. "But yesterday I learned something. I learned that bravery isn't about not being scared. It's about staying anyway, about doing the hard thing because someone needs you, because you need you." Her eyes found Cole in the back. He nodded. "Grandmother, I'm sorry I ran. I'm sorry I was too late." Emma's voice broke. "But I'm not running anymore, I promise. Wherever you are, I promise." After the service, Emma's aunt pulled her aside. "Your grandmother left you something," Aunt Lynn said. She handed Emma an envelope. Inside was a letter, written in grandmother's shaky handwriting. "Little bird, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I'm sorry I couldn't wait for you to find your courage. But I knew you would find it eventually. You're stronger than you think, braver than you believe. The bracelet I sent you belonged to my mother. She wore it when she left everything she knew in China to start over in America. It reminded her that starting over doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strong enough to try again. I hope you wear it when you're scared, when you want to run. Let it remind you that our family doesn't run from hard things. We walk toward them, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. And little bird, if you find love again, don't run from it. Love is the hardest thing and the best thing. It's worth staying for. I love you. I forgive you. Now forgive yourself." Grandmother Emma read it twice, 3 times. Tears blurred the word. Cole appeared beside her, read over her shoulder. "She knew," Emma whispered. "She knew I'd figure it out." "She sounds like she was pretty wise," Cole said gently. "She was." Emma folded the letter carefully, put it in her pocket next to her heart. She really was. 3 months later, Emma stood in a Denver apartment, unfurnished, but hers. She'd found a job at a community center, teaching English to immigrants, helping people find their courage in a new place. Just like grandmother had done for her. It wasn't glamorous. It didn't pay much. but it mattered. And Emma showed up every day. Didn't run when things got hard. Cole helped her move in. They were taking it slow. Coffee dates, long talks, building trust one honest conversation at a time. Sophie visited often. Her frostbite had healed. She'd started working for search and rescue, saving people the way Emma had saved her. David Peterson sent Emma a card every month. "You gave me my life back," he wrote. "I'll never forget it." Emma kept the cards, kept grandmother's letter, kept the jade bracelet on her wrist. Reminders that she was strong enough, brave enough, worthy enough to stay, to love, to try. The doorbell rang. Cole with pizza and a toolbox. "Ready to build some furniture?" he asked. Emma smiled. "Yeah, I'm ready. Thanks for staying with Emma's story all the way to the end. If this touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And drop a comment telling me, what would you run from? What would you stay for? I read every single one.